The man accused of killing UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson was back in a New York courtroom for a status hearing Friday. It was Luigi Mangione's first court appearance since he was arraigned on state murder charges in December. The 26-year-old has pleaded not guilty to multiple counts of murder, including murder as an act of terrorism. Thompson, a husband and father of two, was gunned down outside a hotel in New York City's Midtown on December 4th. Police arrested Mangione after a 5-day manhunt at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. He was carrying a gun that matched the one used in the shooting. Mangione is also facing federal charges that could carry the possibility of the death penalty. CBS News political reporter and attorney Katrina Kaufman was in court for this hearing today. So what happened, Katrina, and how would you describe Mangione's demeanor and behavior?
I'd say he looked really solemn and serious today, Lindsay. When he walked into that courtroom, for one, he was in a bulletproof vest and his ankles were shackled. He was wearing a green knit sweater, which is symbolic because that is the color of solidarity for his protesters. He did smile when he saw his attorneys and sat down, but we really didn't hear from him in court today. There was a moment where he conferred with his lawyers, but we couldn't hear what he was saying. But I'd say he seemed, his demeanor was quite serious. In terms of what happened in court, part of it was spent going over evidence that the prosecution has turned over to the defense. They went through a whole list of that. There is some discovery left. However, the defense expressed that they feel they have not gotten the bulk of the evidence in this case. And one of the things Mangione's attorney said is that he's fighting 3 prongs of charges here. There's New York, there's federal charges against him, and charges in Pennsylvania. They're really focused on...
But that's what I don't get, because his attorney today said all of these charges for one event, but this was allegedly a multi-state affair.
You're absolutely right, Lindsay, and there are reasons that the charges were brought in this way. But she's saying that they're fighting inconsistent theories of the case, for one. She says that the state charges versus the federal charges are forcing them to have a defense against different theories of the case. She's worried that could provide fodder for each of the other cases. So it's a very complicated issue. And there's the issue that he's in a federal prison, but the case is moving forward in the state court first. And because he's in federal prison, there are more strictures. So it's harder for his attorneys to meet with him. She actually asked the judge if she could have a minute or two with her client in court, and he made them just talk at the front of the room for a couple of minutes. She also protested the fact that he is shackled, that he's wearing a bulletproof vest. She says that he's being paraded in front of the public, and he's really not being treated as innocent, which is the right of a criminal defendant.
So the bulletproof vest is not something that his attorneys arranged?
No, that did not sound like it. She seemed to be protesting the bulletproof vest, and the look of it, I think that is because of the court, a decision they made related to security.
We know there is so much attention garnered around this case. How will that potentially play out in this case, and what happens next?
You could see it as soon as you got off the elevator today, Lindsay. There were almost 100 people, and that's just the public, waiting, who wanted to be in that courtroom with Luigi Mangione. That's not including the protesters outside. Many of them were young women. Some of them did, in fact, make it into court today. Of course, there are always worries when there's so much publicity about a case, about jury bias. Jury selection becomes a complicated issue. But I also spoke with some of those people who came today just to find out what brought them there. One girl told me she thought this would be one of the most historic cases of our lifetime. Another woman had flown all the way from Arkansas. It was her second time ever getting on a plane, but she felt like it was so important for her to be there to support Mangione and what she views as his cause of shining a light on the healthcare system.
When will we see him again?
He is going to appear for a federal court hearing in mid-March. In terms of the state cases, the judge set a motion schedule. So the defense has motions due in April, the prosecution has replies in May, and the judge is supposed to make a decision in June for that one.
Okay, and Katrina Kaufman, thank you so much.
Thank you.